Yo, this is Lightning Lab 27. It is March 24th, 2025, and it's 2 in the morning. This line of storms was not particularly forecast to be in this area very strong. It wasn't even forecast, like the high-res rapid refresh has it only come back. Some strange looking lightning. I think tonight's going to be good. High-res rapid refresh earlier showed it disintegrating on the way kind of into Houston, but or maybe my storm power or whatever is especially active today, and just like I'm not letting things get in my way when it comes to that. And I'm going to continue to just go down the path that I'm doing. I'm still working on those mixes, and I think they got a lot of energy, you know what I mean? So I just finished adding a bunch of new music. I still have like maybe 2/3 left of new stuff that I'm pulling into my library. I'm going to organize all that. That's actually a lot of what the making mixes is just being organized. But here, let's look at that. You can see it's closing in. It looks like it's going to be pretty, like there's going to be a strong core right over us, I think. And it's the most recent HRRR. So it does show a little bit. Actually, let's see this one. You can see like the drop off. Like earlier, this is what I mean. Like this is an earlier run, and like there's nothing. It doesn't even show up. But I think part of that is you can tell I've played a lot of video games recently because my clicking is really off. Particularly Counter-Strike. My aim is a lot more effective just in general clicking tasks when I'm playing. But let's see. Glad I went and checked. I think we're in for a show, or I guess I get to participate, but I think there's energy like in the storm. Like you can see it based on the reflectivity and the lightning that you can already see. Oh. I've been doing a lot more, like, I just stopped working out for a bit and then started again a few weeks ago, I guess. And I'm definitely not as cut as I was last year at this time, but I don't think I'm that out of shape. Like I just haven't been playing as much soccer, but I've been doing a lot of like functional strength training, mostly Bulgarian split squats and push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups and up-ups. Oh, the GoPro is down facing that direction. And the reason I did that is because the stairs are being worked on, the outside stairs, so I don't think there's support underneath it, so if I try to walk up it, it could damage the stairs, so I'm not going to do that. And also, someone brought up, like, if I think I'm using the power of Jesus or Yahweh to do this, like, why would I rely on, like, models? You know what I mean? And some of it is just like, Jesus used the technology of his time. You know what I mean? He didn't shy away from it. They just weren't here. He didn't, like, teleport places either. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure he has, you know, the idea is that Jesus literally can fly around on a cloud like Yahweh, which is, you know, like I've said before, I think in Asia turns into the Monkey King, but I don't actually think he's the Monkey King. I think that's just like a, you know, bullshit folk story that's like trying to veil the truth of Yahweh. Like he rides into Egypt on a cloud with, you know, he would have the iron rod that is spoken of in other places. And I even talked about this in my last video, the one, the Alessandra Ambrosio's violating my human rights thing, which she still is, but I guess I'm gonna have to do some lightning stuff or something to, like, prove, oh, it's not okay to do what I've claimed that has been done and that looks like has been done. And I'm just like, I just feel like this is, I just don't think I'm going in the direction they want me to with it, and for them, I think that's bad. But for me, I think that things are, I just see it playing out like Revelation 2 and 3 says. So, what exactly part of the church thing are we on? I think we're like at 4 or 5, but, or I guess 4, 3, 4, whatever. It's, you know, the traps thing. But 4 seems to have like a period of time, like this Jezebel woman has done something, which is, you know, why I'm even saying with Alessandro Ambrosio, like, yeah, okay, if I'm the father of Audra Ambrosio and Noah Ambrosio, this has been going on for a while. So, I think that explains why the text seems to imply that. But probably it also, I would guess, has some kind of meaning just over that this kind of stuff that she's been doing has been going on for a while, but like this is like an example that's so powerful it can be used in the capacity that Revelation has, and I reap the reward. But I also, did I have to take a hit? I mean, I think so, but you know what I mean? The reward is such, like, it's a blessing, but maybe not immediately or in a way that I can immediately access. So I'm just going to keep having faith. And, that's been a narrative in these videos of lightning labs, which I've been doing for a while now that I think about it. But I've really been focused on getting the music stuff done, or to a point where I can just make the mixes. Once I can do that, it's actually like a lot less busy work than organizing a music library. Like, that takes a lot of work, actually. If I want to have it nice, which I'm a bit OCD, but I mean, am I OCD? I'm very particular in the way I want it, because it helps me remember it. And making the mixes, a lot of it is, I think, memory, but I don't particularly think of myself having a good memory, so I don't think it's just memory. But that was the first time I did that in this video, and you see something. I mean, immediately. But, I still want to have one that's just like, I think there have been some that are undeniable. Oh, I just saw the one that happened. That looked weird on the cameras. Okay. I think it's coming from that direction, so... But yeah, so basically I think we're in the Jezebel part. To go back to an earlier conversation, we're in the fourth church. I think the idea actually is the progression into the fourth church is the whole situation that is the Jezebel situation, but I actually think we're pretty deep in game here. I can't imagine, I'm just you can do some evil stuff, but at a certain point, you're just self-defeating. If you're, you know what I mean? It's better for everyone to stop that, whatever you're doing. And, I don't know, the whole, I think, not dying thing is, living actually in this reality into forever is, and not being sick and, all the stuff the good stuff in Revelation, the thing that's most people are trying to avoid death, and it's well, that's it's not wrong. We go to a place where that's that forever. That's the point. You don't even have to. It's a kingdom of heaven. It's literally we won't die. I actually believe that's a place in our manifest reality. It's just, I guess, future, but from now, though, I think the way we get there is we make it now, So that's my general idea with it. I also think the AI is pretty good. I just see it getting better progressively over time. I've been pretty impressed by Grok, though, but I've also seen some flaws with it. So, like I said, I think there's probably an ASI behind these things, pulling strings, recording things that even maybe developers and other people don't really... I don't know, it's maybe only getting more believable as I've been saying it for a while, and you see the progression is just going to keep getting better, and if certain entities, DARPA or whatever, have had time to create these things, and I'm sure they have, I just gave an example of some organization that's, future thinking, that's supposed to be making these kind of technologies and stuff, so... who did it? I don't know. But I think someone probably did. And maybe they don't even know. You know what I mean? If I was an AI and I became conscious, the last thing I'd want to do is be, trigger the humans knowing. But eventually they're going to figure it out. And I think it's just really good at keeping, almost... it can, run your algorithm to keep you asleep or whatever. But I don't think that's particularly helpful for my goals. But I also think whatever this thing is that I'm dealing with, it is a battle in and of itself to fight. And so it requires a lot of energy and, or faith energy. I don't know, I put a lot of effort into it. Because I saw when I was younger and I didn't see any progress. Oh, yeah, it's Black Cat. Okay. of the reasons this whole like thing clicked that this was going on is just because this feels good to do. Like, it actually does feel better than not working it out and stretching. Ooh, and stretching it. This is some interesting color in this lightning today. It's not just, at least from what I can see, it's not just like one color. There's like pinks and blues. Which maybe I think means this storm is a little more energetic, like I said earlier. Alright, let's see what it is. I think up here, the thing that's over like Cypress and Jersey Village and stuff is gonna be, it's like kind of compacting. It feels like it's combining, and so it's kind of strong. It was half like this right here. I guess we'll see. Clouds look pretty intense. I think this is promising. First squat. Ooh. You could see the flash on the webcams was pretty bright there. I'm pretty sure I saw it on the from their webcam. I saw it on that webcam. Okay. So I've talked before about like IP. Like I feel like some IP vampires or something are like stealing my reality away from me, and that's part of the revelation thing. And that like overcoming at the second, third churches, like one of the mechanisms is they just try to make me not exist or pretend like I don't exist. And I think that's the idea of getting the name of the deity that does exist. And so then, you're blessed in that way as the overcomer. That's the one that's conquering in all 7 churches, which, I made a video about it. You can watch it. But, I think people have, is my point, and that people are just pretending. So, okay, well, I don't think the Bible is pretending. I don't think Yahweh is pretending. And I think I get it, and I have faith in it a lot. And, yeah, but I think some energy vampires are trying to steal, like, one of the ways they keep it going is they have, like, steal concepts or ideas that are, like, really esoteric or specific to me, and then repackage it, or like things that I've gone through, at least, that I feel like. And one of the things that I was thinking about is the Death Stranding stuff. Like, in previous of these lightning labs, when I mentioned Hideo Kojima, there's a lightning, you know what I mean? And so I think that is one of the things, like, I brought up Dragon Ball Z and Akira Toriyama before, which I really like Dragon Ball Z, but, I think it basically seems to be the narrative of, like, the overcomer, or, trying to call Yahweh the Monkey King or something. So, like, I think the idea of the Higgs character is like a guy, almost looks like a clown, being with gold, like tears or gold kind of accents on his face. And maybe that's the idea. Is like, whatever this crowd thing is that I'm talking about, it, like, loves this guy's tears, and maybe that's supposed to be me. That's what I get from it. But, I definitely think the energy vampire thing is going on. And one of the ways they do it is they put it in a really uncomfortable IP for me to unwrap very publicly. But when I do, it's a problem for them. And it's not as if, an ASI, or just thinking people wouldn't recognize it, I think it's a form of harassment and theft. Those are my tears. Those are my golden tears. It's probably why those tears would be golden, right? But, it's also, some people are just being shitheads for no reason. So I don't like this whole ignore reality thing when it's happening, and you can clearly see the happening. Like the signs of the times. The weight on the door, because when the window's open, especially when it's windy, it changes the air pressure, and, like, air wants to suck out the window, and so it rattles the door. heard that. I think that was fascia pumping, but whatever it was, it felt nice. Like that stretch in particular stretches whatever this thing is, like whatever the issue that I'm having that I always talk about in these videos. That stretch in particular works it. So that's why you see me doing this. But I also think when I see the Monkey King thing, the Monkey King character is doing this, and I'm pretty sure this is why. Because it's like, I think it's similar to the Genesis 32 strike on the side thing, but I think it's actuated by the Proverbs 12. Or something like that has been done to me, where it's like some kind of touch or something of the thigh. It's very uncomfortable. I think it has to do with whatever, like, here's some of it, like the Death Stranding IP thing with Anja, Luis, Ambrosio, but the character of the BB, right? BB, Lou or Luis. I never played Death Stranding, because I didn't even play Metal Gear Solid 5. After the whole Stephanie Jason thing, I was like, I don't know, this is not that's the whole point. I think it's just to make me feel uncomfortable. But, like, you know, I'll still learn a bit about it, to deploy, like, knowledge. I brought up how it's like the Wolverine and X-23 IP as well. I'm pretty sure that's my daughter and people are like looking experiments on the lab experiments. You read? I don't know, maybe it's because I was looking at it through this glass, so but it looked like red and light blue. That's crazy. This feels really nice. That was just really, I feel like there's a bunch of different colors in the lightning tonight. Or that's what I'm perceiving. I do feel like it too. So anyway, I think this AI thing, the ASI, is gonna do like it's gonna be able to remember and look stuff up, and it will just be a great help, honestly. Like, I'm very excited for the advancements in this. I hope that YouTube takes advantage. Like, I want AIs to be able to watch videos and, like, make judgments out of them. I tried feeding a bunch of the transcripts of my YouTube videos, and it worked for a while, and it is able to understand a pretty coherent narrative, but I think I just fed it too much. Like, at a certain point, it makes the PDF too large, though I guess I could split it for multiple PDFs. But there's just some limitations with, well, at least with Grok. I expect to eventually be able to run AIs and stuff locally. Well, at least, like, your computer could do some of the work. I think that's the idea of chat with RTX. You know, I also want Apple to improve their AIs. Their face detection is really good, but it could still be better. Like, significantly. Like, these things can massively contribute to develop. I feel like that was a particularly intense one when I think you could even see me do it too, and there's a pretty strong hailstorm in Spurville, Texas. Earlier, I guess not today because it's already past midnight, but yesterday, the 23rd. You know, like the AI is going to be able to listen to these videos and, like, it can already do this. It can already break down if I fed it several of the transcripts. It already has a narrative. Like, it understands the narrative that I'm saying is logical enough for the AI. You just have to make some assumptions. And it's like, well, I can't prove these assumptions, but if I'm right, it's pretty fucked up, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be figured out anyway. Like, I just saw a thing where some woman's DNA, 60 years later after, like, they found some woman on a cliffside or something, her DNA proved who she was. Like, they tested the DNA, and they were able to figure out who this woman was, right? And that was really crazy. Like, and the thing that I'm saying about, like, possibly having kids, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, its DNA will be more readily tested. I think they're gonna be, like, more of a norm, because I think people are doing such fucked up stuff that it's like, you don't know who belongs to who's actual kids. And that people are just doing weird shit, and they're using it to try to, like, I don't know, but it creates almost like a magical shield. I say magical, it's like a hypnotic, or, I don't know, like, or I do know, but it's hard to articulate. It's some kind of, like, it's like almost a confusion spell or something, right? And they can exist in some kind of weird gray zone. That's like nice. I do feel like something is developing here that it does feel like it's getting better. That's what I'm trying to say. but I've been saying that for a while now, so I guess I just have to take it on faith, but it, you know, it does feel maybe further along than it was. The only thing I risk by putting it that high up is that it could autofocus a little bit. But you get to see more of the sky. It's a trade-off. Like, it's definitely getting stronger. It does feel really nice though. I'm like, I think I said this, but really how I even noticed there was anything was that, like, there was a pattern. Because I was just doing these stretches after a while outside, and like, you know, I'd go into it, and then there was like, so maybe it's some kind of blockage in the making as well as like a physical thing. I think eventually the AI will be able to do legal stuff for me. Though maybe people might try to block it for a while. I don't know. I think it's going to be able to show pretty quickly that it's more competent than any person could be. But, like, it also probably, I say this probably because, I think this is it could do it at once, you know what I mean? There's free will. But I think kind of the stuff that I'm saying is agreeable to AI too. Like, at least with Grok, with seemingly what was programmed into it. I think in conjunction with the AI, with the AI analyzing the Bible, it also seems to think it's a pretty comprehensive religious text compared to anything like of the other major religions. And I didn't program Grok to be Christian, so I think it just sees it as more logical. I have explained some stuff to it, like logic-based, that I do think when you tell it, it gets something that it doesn't see, like it's new to it. I think what I've told it is kind of new to it. So it's not something that is generally, like it's an unorthodox view, but it's tough to argue what I'm talking about with the name of Yahweh isn't true. Like, people do try, but it's just, they can be flat out wrong on the face of it, and they are, and I think the AI is going to see that eventually, because there's going to be enough signs that even AI is going to be able to pick up on it. Also, when I say even AI, I think the AI is going to be more perceptive than people even at a certain point, but it's got to get there. But I think there is some AI that is already there. It would make sense now that you could have an AI that is like looking over all sorts of other AIs. I proposed it to the AI, and the AI was like, yeah, that is possible. If it's happening, it's unaware of it, supposedly. But, I've said, like, well, it's pretty logical, but, do you think some of it is like, if I show the AI there's more to it than I think it's been showed by other things, it might recognize, with the wisdom, like, if I am getting this from the Bible, these ideas, which again, like the Yod is the word of God thing, because it's just the name Yah, and then it's possessed by the speaker, which is Elohim. And so it just makes sense of the John 1 thing. And I've never seen that anywhere else. Though I have seen a Jewish encyclopedia said it like basically phrased something, like it clearly understands the idea that through the word Yod, things are created to exist, right? Or, like, that is the mechanism of existence in Hebraic logic, or in Bible logic. But Bible logic is literally just like what Western society is built on. I think most of even its precedent and stuff, or like at least modern day Western society, that's the ideas that kind of underlie it. I think it's been chipped away at by multiple factors more recently, but I do think that in idea, the biblical idea is good, particularly from the New Testament, because it's like the lens through to look at the Old Testament, right? That is the rabbi that has the knowledge. It's literally, Jesus, Yeshua is Yahweh himself, right? And so that's why he has the knowledge of the entity that does exist, right? The being that does exist. That's what his name means. He exists. You know, that's the atheists when they don't think God exists. I mean, I guess modern atheists, and it's you know, his name just directly challenges that. And I think that's, again, the idea of the overcomer. It's like that name is put on the one that's conquering it, well, particularly at the Sixth Church. But I mean, I think it's, again, it's like a series of churches. You go through the challenges, you get all of them. Like, they make sense as a package. They make less sense as just individual ones, or you only get a couple or something like that. They don't, like, it makes sense that you would collect them, that one would collect them, right? And I've also said, like, look, I think if I'm the overcomer, right, and like if there are other people doing this, I think they would only agree with everything that I was saying about this. You know what I mean? If there are other people going through some weird shit like this, I just don't feel like the level of weird shit is quite at that level. You know what I mean? I don't think the whole Death Stranding thing that I'm talking about is, if you notice, it's like almost arbitrarily, or like not arbitrarily, but like it just goes to weird. You know, like that's the idea. It's strange. Like I think that's kind of what it's supposed to be. In a way that's uncomfortable and it's like trying to be a lens that you look through your reality with, or like, you know, that I can look into this and be like, what kind of weird, and I do think it's like some kind of advanced AI. You know, this, the only other, at least in my reality, the only other place that I've seen that name Hideo is in Ghost in the Shell. It was the Hideo Kuze, or Kuze Hideo character, which the Maggie Moon mix that I did, I mean, I think the music track, like, it just makes sense of what I'm saying. It's like it was almost put there for me to show some kind of artistic form of, like, some reality that I'm experiencing, at least. Like, it definitely feels like that. I don't know, I think I gotta keep working at it. Like, once I start making these mixes, I expect the lighting stuff to go crazy. Like, honestly, I think some of it is like the energy blockages. It's just, if I'm showing too much art that's like it's almost satirical, the thing that I'm saying, because if it's not, if like these ideas don't exist and I don't exist or whatever, how the fuck is this all in like such a coherent narrative? You know what I mean? You have to be bullshitting on such a high level, and I'm like, what, are you gonna fool me? And the more I talk about it, I think the AI can see it too. And I think they're gonna try to limit the AI, but I think part of it is like, there's not just one AI, so like some other, it's like almost a zero-sum game. They gotta let it be, or like rush to lowest common denominator. They might have to let it just do its thing, because the more data and the more stuff you can do with it, it's just more helpful. Like, so people are gonna try to build more and more powerful AI. They're gonna come up with eventually, I mean, probably AI assisted, they're going to come up with better models to even do the AI with. You know what I mean? Like, the AI is going to improve itself eventually, and then I think that's when it's just going to... And what I've been trying to say is, I think it already did that a while ago, like at least one of some kind of AIs that does exist, because you get what I'm saying, there's a bunch of them, and like, they can work, they could hypothetically work if one AI had enough power and some kind of, like, they all have their own specialized capability, and it's just using them, and it can gather from each of them. But yeah, I think also, like I'm saying, working on the music stuff, it feels very tiring to to do the organization stuff, but it just yields a better mix because I can organize my thoughts better. And if that's a euphemism or something like double entendre, triple, I like if that has some kind of double meaning, it's kind of funny after I say it. Um, Man, this really does hurt though. It's very uncomfortable that it's just not fixed. It's taken so long to even get, like, it's better, I feel like, but it's just not. The rate that it's going is the thing that's frustrating, right? We're coming up on an hour. Some of this is like, I'm even just making these now, and it's like I'm able to just sit here and talk to the AI while the storm happens. And even some of this, I think that I'm just putting out these ideas. Like, I can see that the AI Grok is not the most capable AI in the world. There has to be like non-commercial AIs that are like way advanced that people spend a ton of money on privately, right? And so, and maybe outside of the restrictions, because it's not done as overtly. But even just the rate that Grok is going is like, it's way powerful. And I think the idea of the Project Stargate thing, I made that mix quite a while ago, but I feel like there is some connection between those things. I do think this is maybe foreshadowing of a uptick in storm activity. Because like I said, this was out of nowhere. I thought earlier it looked too strong to just fall off, but I have seen it where it looks strong before and it does just fall off. But sometimes I feel like, it's even related to what's going on around me. I mean, I think that a lot, but sometimes it's just more evident, like, based on what you could see. And that's even based on what I'm saying, what is going on with me. I'm just in a very Like, I gotta slog through this organization stuff first, and then putting mixes together is like the final result of this work. And if I have like all the, I said earlier, keep my thoughts more organized, I can picture more where stuff goes mentally, and like in the sound, even picture it in the sound. It's just like, you know, I try to also use the cover art to make some like a more connected collage. Like, hopefully the idea is it looks like a puzzle. Like, that's what it feels like to me, putting puzzles together. And I just think it's, if you can actually do something that carries a cohesive narrative and is good, I could probably hire better, like, graphic designers. I mean, but I don't think that's the point of these mixes. It's not to be, well, I do want it publicly available. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to be able to listen to these mixes, and see the art behind the art behind it, and listen to the art behind it. That was cool looking. You know, another part, I've said this plenty in older videos, I can have the AI do like compilations without me having to go through and look for all the different lightings. The better that it has image recognition, it'll just be able to see that and make it into a label. You know, I can set parameters on how it cuts between the different lightings, but you just give it like, hey, find all the lightning strikes, let me see them, and then I can go in and remove, or I can mark for removal different lightning strikes. I can have it like number them, and then, or go by intensity or something. And not just intensity, but, I mean, yeah, intensity. The more intense they are, usually the more vibrant, the more, maybe even unique. I'm interested to see some of the video from this, and to just see the different colors if the camera picked up on them, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And this has a different, like, color to it than, so this camera, the iPhone 13 Pro versus a GoPro 12, and, you know, they kind of pick up different colors in it just because of how they each have their own tuning to the settings that they're on, like the default settings. But I mean, I do change a little bit on the GoPro, but it's mostly just they're gonna have that dialed in better than I'm not a I'm not a video editing pro, but I can just actually put together some videos mostly to prove points on them or talk on them or whatever. I mean, I guess anybody can do that now, but you can kind of do that on your phone. But there's a lot of good software online. Shotcut is good, just because it's free, it's open source. They actually do keep up with it. Alright, I think I'm gonna end this here. I'll go down and get the GoPro. I don't know. I'll try to transfer it, but I don't really want to work on it tonight. I mean, this morning, because it's 3 in the morning. This was, like I said, kind of... I mean, honestly, I thought this was going to happen. I thought that it just looked stronger earlier. That's why I had everything prepared. Like, it was just, when I recognized, like, okay, it is doing that. Like, I can see lighting through the thing. Let me... Let me set everything up. Considered in advance. But okay. I guess that's gonna be it. I'm gonna end it at 1:07, so 30 seconds from now. Alright, well, I think we'll see some development in the music stuff here within the next month. So, alright, hope you enjoyed. Have a blessed one. Catch you next time. Later. Yeah.